Well, I hope, Mikyx, you're going to give us some insight as we move into pick ban, though, because support right now feels like, what, pretty linear? Pretty same priorities for the past couple of months?
Play the same champions over and over again. There's like some Nico, some Alistar, Rel, not to lose kind of thing. And then after that, I guess you can expand a bit, but in 3 games max, it's a bit harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I guess Rakan as well.
I feel like we're, you know, getting a little bit... Are you getting bored of support? Are you looking for something different these days?
Yeah, I need something more hype.
Well, your Nico's hype, as you've told us many times, that your Nico is the best in the league.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Some might say the world.
Oh,
some might say that.
Jesus, all right, well...
The entire universe.
Hopefully you guys get to test that coming up in our world split, as Talia's going to be banned away. No support's taken off just yet. Trundle gone, so...
Can we play support? Trundle and Talia, in case you're wondering. Okay. So I just do support bans.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. And how's the J support going? Is that
Come on, you're pushing it now.
Sorry, my bad.
Tied back a little bit. Azir's still open, by the way. Worth mentioning, that has been one of the strongest first picks we've had so far. Sion's actually going to be banned away. Azir feels like the best pick here. Yeah,
Azir seems pretty strong. I guess MKOI probably going to go for a Yone here. I think Jojopyun likes Yone, especially into Azir.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of, do you end up taking the Rumble and the Wukong and then take the Yone on that last 3rd rotation, or do you feel the need to try and lock it in nice and early? Because I think for KC, if you leave up the Wukong, I think it's a little bit of a worry. Plus, you've always got the option then to go Wukong into your AD carry or something here as well.
Also, where did our Addy Pro go? I mean, you're talking about Yone here, Mikyx, and this is a good call out as Jojo really likes the champion, but I feel like we're seeing a lot more Annie Wukong pairings.
Yeah, maybe it just depends on the matchup. Like into Azir, you probably want to go for something like Yone Maokai, but I think Annie is also pretty strong, just not sure how good it is into Azir specifically. I feel like Azir just is kind of stronger. So that's probably why teams don't want to just pick it that early, or into a specific thing, I guess.
Or a blind.
Okay.
Is that just saying, okay, Rumble's open, pick it?
I mean, it's definitely the Myrwn special, right? They like to put him on that up in the top side of the map. You saw how effective he was on the flanks yesterday for MKOI as well, and it gives you that AP damage that you really want. Even if it doesn't have that flexibility, as you say, there's not a ton of stuff that can really go toe-to-toe with it in that top side. Even if you go for the tank, you just get so much lane priority.
Yeah, and I guess jungle needed the counter pick, so they need to save it for a 3rd pick. Let's see what they end up picking.
So they do go with the Rumble anyway, so at least Rumble is still relatively weak when it comes towards the AP matchups in the top side, but with Gwen gone, still going to have a good decent time with the Aurora. And then I think, yeah, you can still go, I would imagine Wukong here, just because Rumble, Azir, Wukong is just such a strong top side once you hit that level 6.
Yeah, I can see Wukong being pretty solid here. They also need something with 80 damage. I don't think they should go for like any tanks or... Well, this one is okay, I guess.
This one's okay?
This one's 80 damage, kind of.
Yeah, true.
So, I don't mind this one.
So walks away from the Sejuani a bit, okay. For Yike, a little bit of setup here with the Azir as well.
I think it just puts a lot of pressure onto Targamas to be that big engage tool, though. So if I'm looking at MKOI, I'm like, okay, let's get rid of Rel, let's try and get rid of maybe even something like the Alistar, and just then that gets rid of a lot of these big AoE CC engages, and just make things way more comfortable for yourself. Although,
really?
KC, okay, I was going to say for KC, maybe they're just looking at, oh wait, okay, well you've already got the Yone, chances are you have to try and dive into us at some point in this game.
Yeah, I can see that as well. But then again, there's also, I mean, I think with Rumble you kind of want just a lot of CC. But I think a champ that can peel well and has good CC, or like set up kind of a Rumble is Renata, so they could look for that. But it's not the best champion to Yone Aurora. But yeah, I think they're probably going to go for a melee champion. There's a lot of options. There's like Nautilus Rakan, but I guess they play Nautilus themselves. So maybe they're going to get a bit pinched in that one.
Okay, well, 2 supports already. As you said, it was like similar directions ago. We were talking about the Rel a little bit before, which could set up either side. I mean, seeing Lillia Yone pairing is... I feel this feels very LPL-esque of last split. But I don't know how you feel about that. We used to see Zyra, Yone as well, had similar kind of setup, but...
I mean, yeah, I didn't see Lillia in quite a while. I mean, I'm kind of confused why both teams are just banning supports. I feel like they kind of want to pick these champions for their team. I guess Alistar is the next one, so I'm wondering what KC is going to bring out now. Maybe a little Renata angle, but...
So you like Renata? Do you like Leona?
Nah. I think Leona is not the greatest. They already have double AP and a tank in the jungle.
Yeah, very true.
So the Merc's value would go up, but I guess Yone can't build it, so that could be a reason to pick Leona here, but it's also not the greatest matchup into Alistar, so I would not recommend it.
Okay, no recommend.
Maybe a Braum. Braum could be decent.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty strong with Yunara as well together, because the passive, like Yunara passive goes to stack on both people. If like both are tagged with Braum passive, if you attacks one, the second also gets applied.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a pretty solid combo.
Do you think you have enough CC to set up for, I was going to say for Rumble in this one, but yeah, we're not even going to get any sort of engage. It's just going to be the Milio trying to enable that Yunara with those long-range autos.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but I guess it's mostly just for the Lillia sleep. Otherwise, there's legit no reason to pick Milio in this game, I would say. But yeah, maybe that's what they need.
Okay, so we get this kind of like weird front to back from KC with, you know, disengage, and we talk about the Milio cleanse for Lillia. And on the other side, I mean, Aphelios has been popping a little bit more. Supa's going to bring game one into it.
Yeah, I feel like this game is going to be really hard to play as Aphelios. There is so much long-range damage and things that can zone you out of the fight on KC side of things that I don't really feel like you're ever really going to be able to play into the fights. Plus, a huge amount of, you know, Lillia is quite fast, Yone is diving backline, even Aurora wants to try and be flanking for backline access as well. So even trying to keep up with the pace of the fight feels like it's going to be difficult for the Aphelios.
Yeah, I think he's kind of just picked it because it's good into the Yunara. I think there's not really much other reasoning behind that one. But yeah, I mean, it's a fine pick still because I think he's kind of self-sufficient, I feel like, depending on the gun rotation, of course.
Of course. Well, Mikyx, it's a pleasure to have you alongside us for what is going to be, hopefully, a banger match of the week intro. KC versus KOI. It delivers, and it has delivered split by split. Supa Aphelios is a very good touch. I appreciate the signage. Our audience comes out, and each week, the effort that goes into signs cannot be understated. Mikyx, have you, when you're playing on stage, you notice the signs? You look at the signs?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
Oh, come on, man. Supports don't just like...
It's too far. I can't see that far.
Yeah, that's a good save. Good save.
Need to make bigger signs.
There you guys. Make bigger signs. Make some big noise. We get into KC versus MKOI once again. Hopefully this delivers. Mikyx, how you been, by the way?
Yeah, I've been alright. What about you?
Yeah, I've been alright, man. I just, you know, chilling, killing, all that kind of stuff. What do you mean you've been alright? What's alright?
Is that an acceptable answer?
When people say good, and I just take that on faith that they're doing good. What do you mean alright?
Yeah, it's like, kind of like good.
Okay. Kind of like it.
Good is the mainstream.
Pretty good after that win, you know?
Yeah. 2-0 is nice.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Once I was going for the phase rush rune. I like Spellbook a bit more, unless you're playing against like Trundle.
I saw this yesterday. What's the theory behind it?
The phase rush? I mean, it's good in general if Spellbook wasn't buffed, because after your combo, you just get mega fast. You can never get caught. If someone tries to catch you, you can always do your 3 abilities and run away.
Yeah.
And you just like stick on people very easily. But I think Spellbook is quite similar, but it gives you more options to be more creative. So I think for this game, Spellbook I think is better, but I think against something like Trundle or something annoying, phase rush is nice.
Do you think the smite change made a big difference in pro play, like the 900 max smite now, the rotation?
Not really.
You don't care?
I think, like, I don't even think smite that often, like, when I play with Spellbook. I think it's mostly for TP, for Ghost, and to switch to Exhaust. I think those are the nice ones. Sometimes Cleanse if you need it, because I don't like buying mercs.
You don't want to smite a cannon away from upset at any point in the game, though?
No, I use my normal abilities to steal.
Yeah.
It's smite is too obvious. If I use an ability, I'm just trying to help, right?
Okay. Inside information.
Especially with Nico.
All right, bot side being a focus here. Well, I have you two gents beside me, and we already talked about it. It feels like the Milio was kind of a response to what the Lillia is bringing to jungle. But for the laning phase at least, when Cozy Campfire comes out...
Yeah, that was a bit of a sad trade. Milio was kind of lagging there. He didn't press his E in time, and they got out traded by Alistar level 1. So that's not optimal. But they should also not be sitting in this bush when the minions are there. So, okay. I think they should deny a lot of CS. I think they're pushing the wave a little bit too fast. I think Aphelios is going to catch all of this, whereas they should not be able to really walk up very easily, level 1. They should drop some CS.
Do you think it's because they're worried about, look, Lillia is clearing from top to bot and we're going to be a bit isolated to try and reset the lane, or do you think they just got more time to punish?
I think they just kind of misplayed it, because you can do it on third wave anyway, and unless Lillia does some crazy stuff, they can't really get ganked, and especially like Alistar should not be able to get level 2 in time before you actually crash the wave. So I think they should still be able to deny. And even if they get ganked, worst case they have to use their summoners, and the Lillia gets far behind from that, so yeah, I think they could push their advantage a little bit, but it's alright. We're scaling.
We're scaling, okay. Caliste is still level 2. By the way, Ward put in Pixel Brush just so he spots his Lillia moving down. And there's a response as well from Movistar KOI as the bounce comes in, and so now the biggest question is going to be if this reset timing can come in from Caliste.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about this one. I think they can kind of just push in the wave now, and he might lose quite some CS. I don't think Milio can freeze it, but they don't seem to realize it, so I guess they're slow pushing.
He gets cull from it as well, as Dagda loves this tech. He told me about it in depth. He just kept telling me about the lifesteal that applies to all the balls.
Yeah, so whenever you hit through a minion with your Q, you end up being able to get a ton of extra healing off because the on-hit healing applies on every single bounce.
Yep.
Basically, the entire reason we see all these kind of funky builds on Yunara is because of that interaction. So the call is just very, very nice in the early stages.
Is it a mistake from Riot, or is that intended?
I think it's cool.
Yeah?
I think it's cool to have a mechanic like that in the game because, well, you can also counter it with specific champions. Maybe Ramos. Because if she attacks one guy and then you stand behind with Ramos, she will get the W.
That's amazing.
I tried in solo queue, it was kind of OP. Yeah. Might have to pull it out.
So Ramos coming out next week is what we're hearing. Yeah?
But keep it on the down low. People should not know about this.
Okay. You're giving too much away. Last time you gave away... Oh, no, the other thing you gave away last time you were on cast with us is about your Nico skill.
Oh, yeah.
And we've been quoting that ever since, you know. You give us a little bit of information, we just reuse it. We're not very creative.
It's fine. I'm very generous. That's why I also like giving people kills if they meet in game.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel bad.
You don't do that as much as someone who, you know, used to be in the league, but sometimes you do.
I try.
Yeah, you're getting there, right? A small movement from Alvaro, by the way. He's just looking for a gank timing on Vladi, but not going to be able to do too much, and it's simply just about the trade through mid. That bot reset, I don't believe, if you guys correct me, did too much here, I think.
I mean, they kind of are just behind in CS now, which I don't think is optimal.
Yep.
But I think they should look for swap timers with Rumble when he's level 6 especially. I think he should be kind of fine to not get dove. Maybe they don't want to do it because Aphelios will get chakrams and just murder the tower. But yeah, I guess we'll see what their plan is after the grub spawn, if they actually want to contest that. I don't think they're going to be much stronger for that fight, so I'll probably just try to trade if I was them.
I feel like so far, Dagda, I mean, the game's pretty stable. We've had early game with Caps yesterday. It was like, you know, just basic lanes. Same with Mikyx again. All we need is a pause now to ask him how Slovenia is. As I flash away, Myrwn gets out. How is it, by the way?
How is what?
How's Slovenia?
It's great.
Yeah. You gotta give me more than that.
Best pizza in the world.
Oh, okay. Jeez, that is a big claim when Italy is nearby.
Yeah, well. The thing is with Slovenia, we take some food and then perfect it.
Really?
That's the propaganda I'm spreading.
The best pizza in the world. You got anything else?
And I have 3 people that tried it and confirmed it, which is Grabs, Duff, and Youngbuck.
Okay.
You want to ask them?
Different cultures. That's the main thing. It's not just Slovenians who also, you know, agree with you.
In Ireland, we take food as well and change it, but we definitely don't perfect it.
Have you ever tried a spice bag?
That's a rough one for the...
Yeah, Myrwn should be dead here, right? I mean, Yike can just stand and deliver. He takes up and kind of burns him down. Easy game.
Nice
easy
and patient. Impressive by Yike.
Yeah, nice timing there. End up getting the kill on top side. Good trade for Dragon as well. And end up getting a plate to boot. So nice little lead now, setting up for Canna. And especially when Myrwn kind of opted in towards this early Aurora, thinking he'd be fine if the Rumble came through. Getting this early lead from him is going to work out well.
Yeah.
Swapping off this as well, Mikyx.
Yeah, I think it's a good swap timer. I think it's a bit sad that Aurora had to use TP, because now she can't even push the next wave, so they're going to have to match anyway. So she just TP'd top to catch one wave, and now he's going to have to base and go bot again. Sure. Unless he wants to stay here to wait 1 minute for grubs, but I don't think that's optimal. So Rumble's going to get a big lead from this.
I was meaning to ask you as well, as MKOI move towards mid with Alvaro and Myrwn. Targamas just has to be careful if he walks over here. Full engage, has a flash, and yeah, I guess the response there. Right. Targamas does a bit of laughing. That's not like a you, Mikyx play, no.
I mean, I would not go for this one. I would usually try to flash around the queue, but it's unlucky. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like, because Myrwn was caught out on top side, they were like, we need to make a play around mid just to see if we can get something as Myrwn moves the bot, because now Rumble's going to be able to push in this wave and can start to shift up onto the rest of the map if they need him to, just as Movistar is a better spot.
Yeah, I think Myrwn was trying to do a low elo check to see if they would like not respect him, because he was too greedy to not want to like base and go bot and just suck it up. He had to like try to get something out of his bad situation.
Okay.
But yeah, Casey responded well. They did not fall for it, and now Aurora is quite far behind.
He's coming top. I'm not sure what he can do. I mean, that's a pretty thin wave as is, and cleared out well by Caliste. As he moves in, Elyoya has sleepy time, but...
I think Rumble should stay for 1 more wave and then actually try to move, because now Aurora's getting the next wave.
Yeah.
Because they saw Rumble, so Aurora can actually get the move and they could start grubs. which could be quite a good salvage by KOI, but they seem to be a bit scared.
With ulti as well.
Yeah, Caliste and Targamas have this wave in an awkward spot where Supa and Alvaro imagine Yike is in the area, so don't want to try and overextend for it, but here's the decent engage.
Empire's down, and they're just given an ulti as well, and Caliste, he's been healed up. Targamas already used his ulti, but slowed down with the laser beam, and Alvaro gets flashed on. Lethal tempoed. Caliste with a kill as well, and KC's early game is quite concrete.
Yeah, nice job by KC to get the play in the top side. You can see Supa and Alvaro really worried that Yike might be trying to come over the wall and get on top of them, but they're able to find that moment with the push in mid as well, covering them. KC now get the top objective as well.
Mate, show me the trap bush. How's that not the bush?
Ulti, auto, Myrwn's dead. He can't get the between worlds TP, and Canna with the second kill. Mikyx, bit of a disaster early.
Yeah, it's looking rough. I think KOI got a little bit nervous up top with the free, so they just had to go and run it. So now the game is even more lost than it was before. Even though they could have salvaged it, but yeah, now it's looking rough.
With Yunara and Rumble like this, let's have a look, because as you're saying, MKOI trying to force this a little bit with Alvaro.
Yeah, Alvaro sees he can get the double knock-up and thinks that it's going to go well, but it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, they don't have enough damage right now, unless Aphelios is actually melee range with his chakras, but they have Milio full, they have double cleanse as well. Yeah, actually, I don't know why they used the cleanse on the Yunara, but that's fine.
And then this is the solo kill afterwards, where Myrwn's just not having a good time.
Yeah, Canna just able to push up and keep him in check here. Oh, we're going to go back to mid though.
Oh, that's because Jojo's getting ultied out, or rather ultied now. Auto attack down with lethal tempo. Vladi, shifting sand's not available. His flash holds in check as...
We have to watch this.
Hey, look, it could have been nice timing from Vladi with the ultimate to disengage from Jojo. And making sure that he's not able to follow up, but yeah, I think it's the fact that now you've got Caliste in a good spot on this top side. You know Canna is huge on the bottom half of the map as well. You can already see Myrwn is struggling to try and deal with them. It just makes things really difficult for MKOI to try and get control of the map, and when it comes to fights, it feels like you've got a decent way for KC to poke and prod with the Milio extra range, and MKOI kind of have to commit to something or just be forced out of the engagement.
Mikyx, I'm told I have to get you back to your team. You know,
sorry,
obligations and stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Is there anything you want to say to the fans, maybe about your home country, about another food you've affected? Anything that you really want to shout out you don't get a chance to do in game?
Kebab is pretty good as well, but that's that. Not much.
Oh, well.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
You're looking handsome today, brother. You're doing well.
You too, mate.
Okay.
Elyoya is not looking so good as he ends up falling.
This game, you think, Mikyx?
Yeah.
Probably in the two
Let's
half
focus on game 2 for KOI, yeah?
Okay, good answer. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to Mikyx for his insight for the first 10 minutes. I appreciate you. And again, you know, it is nice to have, we just have the old G2 roster. We'll, you know, bring the rest back next time as well. We'll get a quadcast with you and Caps next time. Okay? He's smiling at that one. I'll see how we go with that, Dagda. Finally make the dream come true.
You have been dreaming about this quadcast for several years. Yeah.
He's a chill guy. I mean, him and Caps, they're like, you know, they're just bros. You sit down, you play some games with, like tabletop games, and
they're good people.
They're good people. You know, not to say that other people aren't, but they haven't been up here yet. Carlson, he's a good guy. We had him. Who are we going to get next time? You just wait and find out. All right. So this early game is a bit rough. I ain't talking about a dog. Canna caught up in the wind. It now becomes drowsy time. Now becomes the sleep. Elyoya pops him down. Okay, if Mikyx could see this, I wonder what he'd say, Dagda, because that's the first kill for MKOI.
Yeah, I think it's a nice timer from MKOI as well. When you look at the map, KC wants to try and move over towards the dragon, so they find that moment for MKOI to move into position and get the kill. Canna did a nice job of clearing out the wave though, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult for MKOI to fully capitalize on this play. But still, it's a trade in what should have been dragon area, but honestly, KC not back on the map quick enough to really get control there.
Canna with TP though, maybe it changes the play. At the very least, Elyoya is not going to have his lilting lullaby. Jojo without his ulti either. Yike starts this off, but MKOI get pressure, but KC looking hungry for the play with TP now burn. Yeah,
Vladi's gone, as you said, to the top end, so it will just be a 4v4. No ultimate on Canna makes this a little dicey, just because you should have them all available, apart from Elyoya's and MKOI.
Dragon's pinched off for the time being. By the way, Leandres has just been picked up by Canna, so despite him getting caught out, he's still 1,300 over his lane opponent in Myrwn. You look at mid, Jojo's the only one holding a gold lead right now. KC use their pressure. They're going to get their first dragon of the game. That's one apiece here in our slow starter, but does equal things up in the objective game.
So KC able to bully through the fact they had those first items fully completed, and we're happy to just try and go toe-to-toe with MKOI in the beginning. At this stage, though, I think it's where, for MKOI, you need to start finding more of these moments to trade across the map. It was good. They got the pick on towards Canna. Just unfortunate they kind of owed to the wave, so they couldn't do much more with this. But try and play away from these objectives for the moment and see if you can get some much needed goal back on carries.
Alvaro looking for the roam. We now keep our eyes towards this cow. How does he get in as Flash is available again? Targamas has stepped up with Vladi on the wave. Cozy Campfire giving some health over to this Azir. Desperately needed as kicking a soccer ball. Lionel Messi there is going to hit the target, and Alvaro just gets sent back as MKOI also getting their jungler spotted here. The Pixel Brush is a nice drying ward.
It feels like this is more for MKOI to get Jojo the push in and reset for what I imagine is him very close to playing the Rune King, but we'll have to wait and see.
Jojo jumps in, only into Vladi, remember, again. He's fine with that as just wait for the wave. Channeling a recall for now. The wave is quite thinned out anyway, so probably a good time to do so as Caliste steps up to Supa. Half HP each, ulti popped, good dodge away. Sends out the Gazer Beam, but Supa doesn't get caught.
If that W had hit, that could have been a bit of a disaster for Supa.
That could have been. But
ends up getting away from it in the end, and now KC feel a bit more confident. They push up on the wave in mid, pushing topside. Oh. And Alvaro just getting a love tap from Caliste as he finishes off that timer with the ultimate.
You got one of those searing torches, you know, back when I was back in Australia, like the end of last year, got really into cooking again, and I got a searing torch, because you know after your steak, you can really sear it and get the crust on it. Man, that's what it feels like. You send out that arc of ruin from Yunara, and it feels like you're just searing the cow. Oh man, I could do with the steak. Are
you hungry or something, Jake?
I didn't have much for dinner.
I was going to say, between the pizza discussion and now this.
Oh, yeah. Yo, shout out to our talent team last night. After Dagda and I finished, there was just a charcuterie board waiting for me. I was like, bro, where am I? Shout out again. Supa just getting ordered for a little bit. Now remember, Blade of the Wrong King picked up. There is no first item for Supa, so a bit of an advantage here for Caliste in the trade.
Caliste is playing this really well, using the... hold on a sec.
Jojo's going to where? Asgard? Now he's back.
Yeah, just using the Cozy Campfire to get the extra range makes it really difficult for the Aphelios to really trade effectively against you. Plus you end up with the slow from the Blade of the Rune King, so constantly spacing against Supa to make it very difficult. MKOI though, moving into position here. Are forcing KC back.
Yike is ready to pivot in. The drive might begin, and into Alvaro with the equalizer down. He's in trouble, slowed down. Unbreakable Will pulled out, and KC rock in. I mean, that was super easy. They just used their range, and MKOI have to walk away.
And this is what we were talking about. If MKOI are falling behind like this, trying to start fights and trying to take fights on their terms just becomes so difficult. They don't have a easy tool to start off these fights. You can see Alvaro trying to use his flash engage as that point of contact in that last engagement. But it's just not there. They just don't really have anything in the tank.
You know, for MKOI as well, they usually get the ball rolling, and quick stats check as well is like, yeah, 64% win rate with a gold lead at 14. As we've crested over that rate, KC obviously at the top of the leaderboard alongside Fnatic, updated as per last series, as Jojo is going to ulti out there from the gank coming through from Yike. But as you can see, KC really do well with the lead. Usually MKOI as well. Both these teams get that jet engine on and they start flying.
Potential dive on the bottom side here. Myrwn trying to set it up.
But where's the wave going to go when it turns to a crisp? Good spacing from Elyoya. It's all about the turret. Elyoya sticks around. Electro Harpoon, luckily, isn't going to come through because Canna overheated. He's also out of ammunition as MKOI commits to the Nexus. Equalizer almost up and available. Canna's like, I can see a kill. I can see a kill. Elyoya, he's going to lens. And Canna's Electro Harpoon is not going to find its target. Instead, he just pulls back, and Elyoya is going to start clearing for a bit of health.
The equalizer was up fairly soon, but Canna just didn't quite have that cooldown available, which could have spelled a very different story. It could have been cow and deer on the menu for the Rumble, but...
Oh, I do like venison, Dagda.
In this position again, though, KC are fine. They're just continuing to catch waves, bounce waves, and playing towards Vladi to make sure that he can farm up to a decent spot. You still have that Rift Herald in the back pocket of Vladi as well. Dragon in 30 seconds. Yep. It's KC pushing in top now, resetting and looking to, I imagine, break mid-turf off the back of the Rift Herald into Dragonflame.
Well, this is quite strong. Seal as well for the combat with Cozy Campfire too. Don't forget, not only the heal, but the bonus attack range that comes through. It's going to be really nice when Yunara already has a pretty good attack range. MKOI zoned out yet again and walking into any choke, walking into at least 2 or 3 KC members has been really hard this game for MKOI to achieve.
You're so short range on MKOI, and again, you don't really have many tools to get into fights. As long as Alvaro's bot as Caliste.
Arcana Ruin comes through, but it's in the wrong way. Caliste still auto-attacking and waiting for the next leap. He's just going to do a kick flip and walk towards Supa, but Supa's already far away as well. Top turret the priority here for Jojo. Well, remember, 3 grubs were picked up by KC. Their pushing power is strong as well as they look towards mid with Herald.
This is the, although it looks a little wonky, the best way for MKOI to try and play this.
Looking Lullaby,
but
Cozy Campfire comes through. Vladi's out of that one. There's a Between Worlds. Good knock-up set up by Alvaro. 2-man with the Graviton, but there's no damage. Supa doesn't have the range in the guns either. And even though Caliste ulti is already down, he gets a slow. The equalizer comes in, and Canna is running at them. On the retreat path is MKOI after the war path set out by KC.
KC commit to mid to try and protect the play, which leaves that lane on the top side free for Jojo. Crashes the wave, gets himself another little nice lead for himself. And again, this is what I want to say. I think this is how MKOI have to try and play it.
Yep.
You don't try and go for the fights. Alvaro, you can see how much he had to try and use to engage, and the follow-up after is denied because of the way KC's composition works. For MKOI, it's try and buy time as much as possible around these objectives. So Yone can push aside, so Myrwn can try and get some control over side lanes. And look, you end up losing the mid-tower and the dragon, but at least you've got some time before you have to contest for the next dragon, and this Yone is starting to scale.
Dagda, I'm really glad you've been paying attention to Jojo because, yeah, I'm looking at that gold lead. Obviously, everyone can use their eyes and see what's up, but 20 CS, the side lane control that you said, again, drawing that TP away, has given him that extra couple of waves. Like, Jojo must be sitting on a bit of gold here because his lead, he's doing a bit of chobing, but not just that. Like, he had the components of Blade of Ruin King for a little bit. He completed it and then got that push off. He's rivaling Canna, who got 3 kills early on. That's saying something.
And you can see as a result, everyone in KC is trying to put pressure on him. So they push mid, they're now playing into the side that Yone's on, denying him access to the wave, trying to deny him access from using that advantage. Now it does also have the added benefit of keeping control of Adakan, but I believe this is where KC want to try and keep Jojo in check, but knockups.
Wind is giving a nice lift to the steps of Targamas at half HP. A campfire needed to get warm before this fight begins. Adakan is the throwing machine. It shreds resistances and teams just like to throw around it. So KC have to be careful. Jojo going in and onto Caliste at half HP. He stands for now. Another cozy campfire and that'll give him a nice heal and toot in his step. But at 8k, MKOI here to play in front of Adakan at 6. It's still going down. KC flash though into Elyoya, but a quick flash response. Meanwhile, Jojo has to ulti out from Caliste. He ultied, he ran in, launching another one under Canna, but he's burning down the deer. We're eating venison tonight, but as Elyoya gets out, Supa goes in, gets the range on Canna, and Caliste is still in ulti. Yes, he's zoning, but where is the spike going to come from? Elyoya has to run in, but he can't. Too far away. Yike stood his ground, and KC somehow take the objective.
MKOI wanted that so desperately, but just about KC can hold on in the fight. And it's a fight on 2 fronts. You end up looking at Canna on this bottom side, trying to zone out Myrwn, and also uses an ultimate to keep Supa and Elyoya out of the fight as soon as we get this engage coming through the Yike. But Jojo gets out on the top side, Alvaro manages to keep him safe, and you end up with so many people focused on trying to deal with Jojo on the top side. Canna gets isolated on the bottom side with Myrwn, and Supa, as soon as that ultimate from Rumble's gone, starts to walk in, and then it becomes a dicey game. But Elyoya not able to get into position means that KC can smite the objective away.
I mean, Elyoya lucky to be alive at that point. I thought he's getting crispy squared by Canna, but you can see a lot of damage from that top line Rumble, but Caliste, that early kill really put him into this game. This is the thing about Aurora, by the way, on the other side. She just always has a chance, even if she hasn't had that much impact in the early game. Team fights where she's able to lay at 2 or 3 people in the ulti, like the burst is still measurable.
I think it helped as well that Supa had the Calibrum.
Yeah.
The fact he had the longer range, even when he was zoned out, made things a little easier for him in that fight, especially when it came to the ult to finish off Canna. But still, a good job from MKOI to fight back. And you can see, even though they were slightly behind, it's a very even game now. And if they can find fights where they can get flanks, have Jojopyun and Myrwn pick off some of the back line, that could be the thing that breaks open this game in favor of MKOI.
And both comps have really fun ways to fight as well, right? Like, there's big ults to watch out for, like Yone, like Azir. Even, I'd say these days, like Moonlight Vigil with Yunara's ult. When she gets to turn on and be that transcended self, It's insane she can take over fights.
And I think that's where terrain is going to be playing a big part because of how many big ultimates there are. If you can try and use, like we saw, Canna's Rumble ultimate to keep Supa out of a fight, to deny Myrwn access on a flank, that can be game-breaking. And on the upside, like even if Caliste is just able to use that range and not really get in trouble from Jojo, Myrwn or Supa, that could also be something that KC can look to play for.
Gun check here, Supa just ran out of the Calibrum. Now he's got Gravitum and Infernum. Duo won't be great, but at least with the Moonlight Vigil, that Infernum can shred through. Yike at half HP, and his Heartsteel that hasn't done much this game has flashed in. Myrwn, great burst, and now a lilting lullaby soon to follow. Targamas sends out the ulti, but meanwhile Yike has to kite it back. Canna's ulti's great with the Empress Divide from Vladi, and Alvaro will die because of it. Jojo getting burned down on the side, but somehow Yike, Targamas, both alive to tell the tale.
Yike's ultimate saved that play. Jojopyun went for his own ult to dive into the backline, finish off some of these low health members, but got caught by the Skarner and couldn't finish it off. We'll catch it in the replay in just a moment, but that could have been everything off the back of this play. You see, good positioning here for MKOI. Myrwn hiding out of sight, knowing that no vision can put down, comes in invisible, multi-man slow, and then you get the follow from Alvaro. But watch as Jojo goes for the ultimate here, ends up getting caught by Yike, which means that he can't actually go for the finish on the ultimate. Vladi's able to buy space, and with Canna now in a flank position, he catches Jojo on the far side.
Myrwn just did so much burst, and the follow-up looked brilliant. Just can't believe KC didn't die from that. Again, shows you the skill. Yike has one moment. As by the way, I thought that Heartsteel got a couple more stacks. It's 25 minutes. There are 0 stacks on that Heartsteel. So that's not a successful game, as he's now got his second item with Randu and Zoman. That'll help from the crit from Aphelios and the Yone eventually, but worth mentioning that that item so far has done not much.
It may also just be on screen, like, we don't know.
Well, observers did say at 10 minutes that Heartsteel
still
has
has
0 stacks.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I'm assuming that's continued to the 25-minute mark. Thank you very much to our production team. Yeah, rough one, as Baron now spawns, and I've got the in here from my producer to say that is correct. So at 25, as we tick over Baron, as I said, it sits there waiting. Remember as well, 2 dragons are 2 dragons. That next one moves to solve point, so it's a consideration if the Baron lingering goes on long enough.
Glizz getting a nice poke onto Alvaro. MKOI moving towards this top side. You have Canna pushing on bot though, completely isolated. So they're kind of fishing for some sort of play. KC just aren't giving it to them though.
It's kind of been like that all game, although be it, it's been some close plays that have come off the back of this Lillia, off of Jojo especially. They're the ones looking at a lead right now. Canna at 2 and a bit items with his teleport available, electing to walk for now. Remember, Myrwn can match that if this Baron starts, but KC clearing all but 1 bit of ward. That's under a control ward, and with Baron starting, this will go quick.
MKOI also shifted their attention to bottom side because Canna had left out on that bot lane. Now they will be able to spot it out, and that's the TP already. KC pull off. That's exactly what they wanted. Now they have TP advantage on Canna, and Canna can continue to push in the bottom side. I wouldn't be surprised if Jojo resets to actually try and match Canna in this bottom lane, since they can try and keep some sort of TP there, but we'll have to see if he goes for it.
I mean, it's a really nice play. As you said, it's a clean play because a lot of the time we get the TP, and in this region, sometimes the overcommit comes, they'll start Baron anyway, we don't peel off. Like, really nice from KC. Just makes such a simple but well-coordinated play that Canna, you mentioning, is going to draw Jojo down, who can match with that TP, but remember that Vladi has an advantage here. He'll go top for now, so it won't matter too much, but that Dragon timer is getting closer and closer. 1 minute 30, and Vladi can make the roam if he has to.
I just had to scream.
Karmine Corp still have a lot of control on the top half of the map, and I think that's where MKOI are just going to have their biggest struggle. Yunara pushes the wave so effectively and also has a longer range than Supa in most situations, so it makes it difficult for Supa to really contest the wave state, which is giving access to river, which is why MKOI have to be so cautious around what is happening on this Baron. And again, we're seeing it started up. Yone bot side, KC fishing for another TP or just taking the Baron.
Let's see which one it is this time. Ward over the back of the pit. The TP options aren't great until that control ward gets dropped down. Alvaro drops a fresh one as equalizer into Supa, and Elyoya. Alvaro is deep here as well. Unbreakable will come, and an attempted steal. No, they 50-50 to KC. One out with a beautiful impale. Elyoya bites the dust. Myrwn does big damage, but look at Canna. On to Myrwn. He makes him his son as KC make it a 1-for-1. And that's all good when KC pick up the Baron at the end.
Supa blew Targamas up. That was insane. But again, KC, they get the play they wanted. They were hoping to fish for Jojopyun's TP, but he never commits it. He just walks up from bottom side, which gives KC the opportunity to take the Baron. Canna looking to zone with that ultimate, does some damage. But Elyoya, even when he gets into the pit, ends up getting locked down here by Yike as he tries to escape over the... Well, can't even get back over the wall. But the damage, absolutely insane. The Infernum into so many people, just bouncing onto Targamas every single time.
I got 100-0.
Reminds me of Aphelios of old, although it was a lot more egregious. And remember, that was a 50-50. That was dangerous from KC. Like, that play, because Targamas had smite, but he didn't actually use it. So now as we get to Dragon, there's an advantage for KC where they will have double smite. Alvaro, remember, phase rush here on the cow, so doesn't have that same opportunity. Targamas should just burn it here. Does it in the end anyway, okay, whatever. But regardless, third Dragon for KC. And with that Baron, now it's time to see how close they get towards the enemy base and to really build that gap as Jojo base checking is almost going to get in court. Caliste steps up, there's Flash Impaled, and Jojo burns the same.
Means that Jojo will be way less threatening for his backline, or for KC's backline, should a fight try and break out. MKOI trying to rally all members onto this bottom side. Myrwn going to match the mid push from Canna as the Baron push on the bottom side.
Poke is good from Yike, albeit, who still doesn't have a heart steal back stack, by the way. It's got to be a record for that. There's KC in a turret. It's going to go down quite quickly. Easy to step up again, and the sustain makes it really annoying for MKOI. Their poke really works too much, and there's no caliber available. They're getting zoned off. Canna's now thinking about how he can move in with Equalizer again. The engage from Jojo onto Yike won't mean too much as Vladi and Targamas step back, and MKOI keep getting chunked out. Every time they're going to lose more and more as yet another turret falls.
Again, the range discrepancy coming into play. KC get to farm up. They have a ton of repellent for if you try and dive as MKOI. You have the Emperor's Divide. Yike doesn't quite have the ultimate, but can peel, same with Targamas. It just makes it really difficult for MKOI to deal with this Baron push.
Next wave coming in as well. Jojo actually tagged out by Electro Harpoon. Canna's doing serious damage now. As Alvaro jumps in, they have to turn and engage. There's between worlds, but Alvaro's so deep, and look, Canna just flashes in. Under a turret, he goes golden, so he won't die. That was insane play as MKOI get wiped off the map in one fell swoop. Canna just said this has to end.
Karmine Corp found their moment. Alvaro tried desperately to make it happen, but KC are just too strong.
Now, match of the week. Sure, it started off slow, but then it was KC down to a 50-50, but that didn't matter either. KC outclassed and enter into this match of the week in a big way. Let's get another kill down and then move to game 2.
A strong early game from KC.
Yeah.
MKOI tried desperately to find moments where they could get the fight, but Karmine Corp just working so well together.
This is a couple of really good early game plays. They held the gold lead. Yes, there was like one moment, I think, in that game where MKOI found a good fight, but, well, KC really held their number. Are they going to stay undefeated in series? I guess we find out in this best of 3 right after this.